Welcome to week 5. Hope you're all doing good. So this week we're looking at chapters 9 and 10. So 9 is going to deal with physical security. And it's probably one of the most overlooked ones because, here we set up everything. We have created strong passwords. We have a firewall. We have biometrics going in place. But what about the building? What about the physical security of it? What is our plan for that? Who can get in? When? How? So we're looking at building security. What does our perimeter look like? Are we in the middle of a city? Or we have to deal with different things? Or are we out in the country where we got to put up cameras? And this is what we're going to be looking at today. What does the landscape look like? What does our building look like? Who's allowed to get close to it? Do we have fences? Do we have security guards? Sometimes the building security is overlooked. We think it's not our area, but here it is, security. Not only do we have to protect the data, we've got to protect the physical data. We do have the threat of online hackers trying to get in, viruses through emails, but we still have to deal with someone physically breaking into the building, stealing our hard drives. So it does happen. So we have to make sure we do protect this. What type of security do we have? Do we have someone at the front desk that screens everyone if don't have a badge? How do you know who's an employee, who's not? I know where I used to work, we had a couple hundred people. I didn't know everyone. I couldn't tell you if someone had walked in the building, was in the server room. I would never know. So we need to understand that physical security is a big area we need to address. Does everyone have to show their badge? And we have to look at this. In the government, there's all different levels that are required. And in public world, same thing. There's different levels. But biometrics is a great way to get in, to have what we talked about the security levels. What you know, what you have, or what you are. We already spoken about having a password, a good strong password, having smart cards or tokens. Well, biometrics is your fingerprint, your iris scan. So there's different levels of things that we can start doing. So, if you're doing biometrics, well, you're going to do the fingerprints, ridges, valleys, points, pattern matching. But you have to set it up. We got to look at that. We can have a retina scan. We can have an iris scan. Hand geometry. Just place your hand. The size of your hand is on there. As you all know, Facebook uses facial recognition. Why can't we put that into our security? So these are some of the things that we're going to look at and have that in there for us. So it's biometrics is more than just an eye or a finger. We can also type the typing signature analysis, voice recognition. So biometrics is that capturing of something that you have to do. It's on you. So it's more than just an eye scan. So we're going to look at this. We're going to take a look at what do we have. Because we have to make the system available. We have to make it so that whoever's using the system, that the failure rate of them getting in is low, if they're truly who they are. But the success rate of someone not being who they are, preventing that. So we're going to have a false acceptance rate and a false rejection rate, or type 2. And the false acceptances, we want to make sure that we don't allow someone who is an imposter get in. The false rejection, legitimate users have to be able to do their job. So keeping someone out who belongs there isn't good because it's holding up them from doing their job, and then we have that issue. So, we go through the modes of operation here. The verification mode, identification, verification. Are they biometrics? We set it up. Identification mode. These are some of the things that we have to look at. Acceptance, how we look about that. And how does it, we're going to look at the technology. How can we lock out certain things? The physical locks. Are they on a timer? One of the places I work at, you can't get in the building before a certain time. Just 7 a.m., you're there before it, you just stand and wait outside. This way they ensure there's no one in the building when there shouldn't be. Even if you have to get in, badges don't work, you would have to call security so someone knows you're in there. It's also a safety thing. Do we have tumbler locks on the door? Do we have combination locks, cipher locks? There's a whole bunch of different things that we can have to ensure that the building is secure. We don't want anyone in it without being available. Who knows in there? Now, can we outsource the physical security? Sure. We can hire a third party to take care of it. Some of the benefits, we don't have to worry about screening them. They're secure. They know what they're doing. We don't have to hire them. Some risks. How good of a job did they do on vetting that whoever they hired is someone who's important or has that in there? Some best practices, basically. Or did we document who they are? And all that. So that was chapter 9. Let's take a look at chapter 10. Chapter 10, access control in the enterprise system. Basically, this is who's going to be able to get in. Enterprise system is large scale, problems with solutions. Each enterprise has its own issues. So we're going to take a look at how this risk and an attack can have this. The ACL list, access control list, and the AC control entries, ACE. So access control is made up of access control entries. Basically, security identifier. How do we know who's getting in? Who has permissions to do this? We keep this list. This is all that we can get into our system. So we can, some of the issues we can look at. We can delete the list, delete ability, or who has control of this read, write, command, similar to what we had talked about last week. The discretionary access control list contains the ACEs that allow or deny subscriptions. These are some of the things we're going to be looking at. Discretionary the DAC, discretionary access control, mandatory access control, and role-based access control and attribute access control. Confidentiality, integrity, availability. Again, we have to make sure that whoever we're working with, we keep everything, all the information confidential, that we don't leak out any information, that the system's not charged by the subject, and availability. The system needs to get in when he needs to get in. So that's one of the other things we're going to be looking at. So we're going to be taking a look at how we can get security to make sure that we have this in here, that we keep everything nice and secure. Obviously, we can use smart cards. If someone has a smart card, they can get in, or the token. These are just some of the things that we allow people to get into the system when they need to get in. Again, we can use the force of biometrics. And how do we get people to get into our system? Basically, it's making sure that our key distribution center is up to date. So what are some weaknesses? A brute force attack, we looked at that. Key storage, clocks and systems. These are just some of the areas that we need to make sure that we are secure when we're doing that. The network access control. Basically, this is who has access to our network. How do we make sure that they have, this is done at the data link area. So this is at the lower level. It's not at the application layer, but right above the physical layer, the data link. Do they have the access that they need? These are following the IEEE standards of 82. IEEE 802, and the different layers that we have. And we're going to look at the wireless information. IEEE 802.11. What are the standards to keep out potential people from a wireless network? We all know all the data breaches that have on. We have drive-by war driving that allows information to get hacked. And now with everyone wanting single sign-on, if someone's email or password's compromised, well, now they have access to the entire system. So there's some benefits and disadvantages to having single sign-on. So that was really chapter 10, understanding the significant information within the enterprise and how we go about it. So remember, have a wonderful weekend and get out and smile. Thank you.